So today we have a flagship device from OnePlus. This one is OnePlus 6, released back in 2018. As a flagship device, the device is still working pretty well and is still usable as a daily drivable device. So there are a lot to love about this device and a lot to hate about this device right now. First of all, let's talk about the physical aspect of the device. It got a 6.2-inch AMOLED panel, which is 1080p 60Hz. It is a pretty good panel actually. It still looks pretty decent and works really well. Although it got a notch here, which was in trend at the time. We also got a 16 megapixel front facing camera, which still works really well and it can shoot up to 1080p 30 fps. That's good. On the right hand side, we got OnePlus signature switch, which can toggle between ring, vibration and silent. Down here we got our power button. Left hand side, SIM tray. This device only support 2 SIMs or single SIM. You can't extend your internal storage. And we got our volume rockers here. On top we are getting a secondary microphone hole, and on the bottom Type-C port, loudspeaker, 3.5mm headphone jack and the main microphone. On the back we are getting a 60 megapixel rear facing camera with OIS and a 20 megapixel depth sensor, which is kind of useless actually for me, and flash and the fingerprint scanner. One thing which is kind of really good about this device, the build quality. It is pretty good in terms of build quality and it feels like a pebble. You will not find any sharp edges on this device and it kind of really slippery and feels like a really premium device, and it still feels like a premium device actually. Much better than the device coming out this time. It is still holding up pretty well in terms of build quality. In terms of specs, as a flagship device of that era, it got Snapdragon 845, powerful enough processor even for today, and my unit got 8GB of RAM and 128GB of internal storage, as you can see here. And the device actually got UFS 2.0 storage, so it is kind of fast enough. Even today's mid-range devices comes with UFS 2.0 or more than that. Even from Poco and few other devices you can get UFS 4.0 in mid-range series. As for the price goes, I got mine for $30, but this goes more than that, around $50 to $60. And for the price actually you are getting a lot. So a few days ago I have tried a Poco C75, which I bought for $80, 8 to 56GB variant, and it was a budget device from them. In front of this device, that device can't really stand, although there are few things which are really good about that device, but this one is actually far better than that. So first of all, let's talk about the few things. Although I don't really like to try benchmarking and doing those kind of stuff, but I did try that. So if I show you Antutu benchmark, so it got around 3,72,000 score. Kind of really good score, like it is double than the Poco C75 which I have used. Although the score is pretty low like today's budget devices, but don't go with the score. It is far better than the today's budget devices. And if we check Geekbench score history, as you can see here, we got single core score of 530 and multi-core score of 1800, quite good. And GPU score, as you can see here, 2243, kind of good, actually good enough. And after using this device for a few weeks, I find out that this is extremely usable device. Few things you need to be concerned about. First of all, the Android version. So it is running on Android 11 and Android 11 is still usable. You will not find any issue with Android 11. Most of the application still works well on Android 11. There is no issue with that. But as a flagship device and with good processor, you can upgrade this device to Android 15. There are custom ROMs available and pretty easily you can update this device. So there are a lot of possibilities. You can install ROMs here. This needs to be concerned about here. First of all, let's talk about the camera. So as I said, the cameras are on paper really good, but I found out that the cameras are not really good enough for 2025. There are a lot of issues. Although the camera is working well, as you can see here, and the secondary camera, as I said, the depth sensor or whatever sensor it is, it has no work. and it does not work that well actually. Like the secondary sensor should work for portrait mode, but it does not help that much for edge detection or anything like that. Today's devices can do much better without that sensor, so no use actually. For photos, still kind of work. For videos, pretty bad actually. Last few videos I have recorded with this device, there are weird artifact on the video and like gloomy things and everything. It could be because of the secondary sensor, like trying to map the depth or something like that. But the camera is one of the letdown of this device for 2025. Another thing is battery. So it got 3300 mAh battery, and it's not really good for even that time. So for today, as the battery is degraded already and the battery is pretty small, so you can get around 2 to 3 hours of screen on time from this device, and that's all actually. You can't do much here. You have to charge this device twice or thrice if you play games on this device. As we are talking about the games here, the gaming performance of this device is top notch. You can still do 40 fps gaming on this device. I did play Call of Duty here. It was working really well on this device, although it got 60 Hz screen, and if you used 120 Hz device it will feel sluggish. But if you are someone coming from a 60 Hz device or a budget device, this one will feel like magic. So still holding up pretty well in terms of those things. Like for gaming, you can still go with this device. For calling and other things, still works, and the UI is pretty smooth with 8 GB of RAM, as you can see here. Pretty smooth, no issue at all. And we are not getting any kind of stereo speaker here, but the loudspeaker is pretty good and it tuned well. As a flagship device, you can expect that from this device that a loudspeaker going to be good, but obviously tinier side. So let me play NCS music. So the speaker quality is good. Obviously you are not getting that stereo sound here, but as for single speaker goes, it is a really good speaker. And you can play HDR video on this device, so it does support HDR, and you can watch up to 4K video without any kind of issue on this device. The device is capable actually. One thing which needs to be concerned about is that it heats up really fast. When you are playing, it's kind of really difficult to hold. So mainly because of metal frame and glass back, so it does heat up pretty fast, and you're going to face that issue. In terms of usability goes, the device is usable. You will not going to face any issue using this device, and it is one of the best device you can get, like for $30 to $40 right now, or $50. This is one of the best device you can get from a really good company, good UI. Although the cameras and the battery backup is kind of meh, but as far as usability goes, not going to face any issue. So that's all about OnePlus 6. Maybe in future I will make a tutorial how you can install TWRP and install custom ROM on this device, but not right now. I'm planning to do that. So that's all about it. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.